Sapa. It's the picturesque town that you think of when you think of Vietnam. From the beautiful rice terraces surrounded by the Emerald Mountains to the most friendly local ethnic tribes, Sapa stole my heart immediately, and it's no wonder it's a top choice for many travelers visiting Vietnam. So, in today's video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about how to make the most out of this trip and why you need to visit Sapa. In this video, I'm not only going to be showing you this experience we had, but I'm also going to be talking about the best time to come to Sapa, how to get there, where to stay, the different types of treks, and how much time you're going to be needing to spend in Sapa. I'll also be covering what you need to pack, how much this experience costs, what the local people are like, and whether you actually need a guide. So let's get started with where you're gonna get started. Hanoi. You'll need to get transportation from Hanoi to Sapa. And one of the main ways of transportation in Vietnam is by sleeper bus. The journey on the bus will take you roughly 6 hours, and from there are many bus options to choose from. The best and most cost-effective way to book a sleeper bus is directly through Interline. At the time of this video, a bus from Hanoi up to Sapa should run you approximately 300,000 to 375,000 Vietnamese dong. And in US dollars, it's about $12 to $16. Now that you've arrived in Sapa, you'll need somewhere to stay before you begin your trek. There's a variety of options to choose from, ranging from budget all the way up to luxury. We recommend Maison de Sapa. We booked a room with a mountain view and a beautiful balcony here for $44 USD per night. After a good night's rest, it's time to actually start our trek with the local guide. You can book this experience directly in Hanoi and they cover everything, but we don't recommend it. We booked directly with our guide Ku, which I'll link her contact information in the notes. She's from the Hmong tribe and she speaks great English. She was fantastic from the whole way through, telling us stories from her childhood and the local culture. You're probably thinking, how long should I trek here? And I can confidently tell you, you need to trek for at least 2 days to truly experience the culture here. Luckily, Ku is a homestay where we were able to eat dinner with her family. And when you trek with Ku, you'll get to pick from a mountain tour or a valley tour. On the mountain tour, you get to trek through the bamboo forest. We're headed into the bamboo forest. Here we go. And see many of the water buffalo and get an incredible view of what the locals call Ham Zu Mountain, which in English actually translates to Dragon Mountain. Whereas in the valley tour, you get to go directly through many of the local villages and you get to learn how they make their unique clothing. Not only that, but seeing those rice terraces up close was an incredibly picturesque. So, which one did we do? Well, I'm really indecisive, but luckily our guide let us do both. So the first day we did the mountains and the second day we did the valley tour. Best decision. Day 1 of the trek. You'll meet your guide at about 9 a.m. right out front of your hotel in Sapa town to start your journey. You'll pass through the local markets where women are selling their handicrafts and into the flower market, which was especially active as it was the Lunar New Year Tet was coming right up. In the market, you can get just about anything from children's toys to handmade knives to snake wine? Our guide even got us a delicious snack for the trek. It was a very steep incline and we came across a lot of water buffalo. Ryan thought the water buffalo liked him and that's why they were staring at him. But our guide let us know that that is completely incorrect and that they do not see many tourists on the mountain. So we really needed to keep a distance so they didn't charge at us. This is why going with the tour guide is so important. Had we not have known that, we may have sat there taking loads of pictures and we wouldn't be here to tell you the story afterwards. After several hours of hiking and stories, we finally made it to the top of the mountain, where we had the most incredible view of the valley below. You can even see how the mountain looks to be in the shape of a dragon, hence the local name Dragon Mountain. We took a much needed snack break. I had the plain sticky rice and Ryan had his the traditional way with pork. On the way down the mountain, our guide showed us this game she used to play when she was a child. She would have you close your eyes and tear a small piece of fern from the fern in your hand and then carefully place it in a new area on the fern. It was your job then to find it, which I completely failed. I still have no idea how she can tell them apart. Finally, we stopped for lunch at Hmong Village. We all shared some delicious spring rolls followed by fried rice with tofu for me. And what better way to enjoy a break than a much needed ice cold beer? I even made a friend. After lunch, it was back to hiking toward our homestay, we hiked through the villages where we were able to see what local life was like. This massive pig was the definition of unbothered. There was even a Catholic church. We were told that the French brought Catholicism to Vietnam back in the late 1800s, and many people in the villages have adopted this religion. The sun was beginning to set, and the views overlooking the valley were incredible. Koo showed us her skills at using a leaf to make it sound like a kazoo. Koo 1, Ryan 0, Nicole -1. When we arrived at our homestay, we were greeted by her granddaughter and dog, and we got to enjoy some tea overlooking the valley. We then got to spend time resting from our hike, while our host family was preparing our dinner. Our room was basic, but it had everything we needed for a good night's rest. They prepared a feast of delicious local food that we all got to enjoy together. We even got to enjoy some homemade rice wine shots. Once dinner was over, it was lights out and time to rest for the next day. But first, we had to take a much needed shower at the homestay.
How was your experience?
For a real shower or for a homestay shower?
Let's go with the homestay shower since we're at the homestay.
It was actually pretty good. The water got really hot. We're just massive idiots. And the water was coming out really good. And then we turned it off to save the heat and turned it back on. It was trickling out. And we were full of soap. We're like, no!
There is no heat here.
No, but it's fun under the covers.
Yeah, so we have 2 comforters.
It's winter in Vietnam.
It is, and it does get cold. So we're going to head to bed.
We need to get some sleep for this round 2 hike tomorrow, so
we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everyone, to day 2 of our trek in Sapa. Nicole is still asleep, but I kind of snuck out to try to catch the sunrise. So let's take a look.
Once the sun was up, we enjoyed a much-needed Vietnamese coffee and a large breakfast to prepare for our day 2 of hiking.
Now this is our kind of breakfast.
Woo!
Massive. For massive appetites.
Koo dressed me in the most beautiful local clothing for our hike. Good?
Okay. Ready?
She hands makes all her clothing. The outfit I was wearing takes her well over 6 months to make, and the color is made from the indigo plant. She sells a variety of her different clothing, handbags, toys, and accessories. We then started our hike into the valley, and I received so many compliments from local women throughout the day.
Isn't Nicole looking beautiful today? Right? She's gotten so many comments as we've been walking down the street.
We stopped by their grandchildren's school to meet the local children. They were happily enjoying their break for lunch. Next, we trekked to the local Hmong Village. Koo showed us hands-on how they make their local clothing. It was very difficult work. We also got to see how they made sculptures out of marble. The details on the sculptures was incredible. Through the valley, we stopped to take in the views of the rice terraces and many different animals that we spotted along the way. Birds here are used for protection, similarly to dogs. So if an intruder enters, the birds actually will chirp loudly to wake up the owner. All right, we're about to enter into the next village, the Tava Village. Beautiful. We're headed into the bamboo forest. Here we go. Next, we stopped at a local waterfall to enjoy the views. We were asked many times if we wanted to buy items from the local woman. So here, it's flowing a little bit, but in the summer, it really flows down and the water will rise, and a lot of the local children will be swimming in these local ponds. I really want to dive in right now, but it's winter, so not today. Next, it was back to eating. And time for more fried rice.
More fried rice, delicious fried rice.
We actually had options, but I love fried rice.
Yeah. It's either that, noodles, or soup.
We stopped for lunch at a local spot in the village where we dined on, you guessed it, fried rice. We can't exactly show you because I actually ate it as soon as it came out. Whoops. After lunch, we finished our 2-day trek and had to say bye to our amazing guide. All right, so this is the end of our 48 hours in Sapa with our amazing guide.
Yep.
Hello. We over for 2 days. this is the last day and last trekking from here. Say bye-bye. Hope to see you again.
Yes. It's been amazing.
No, me too. We gotta come back. While I could have spent months sitting in the valley of this beautiful mountain paradise, I want to talk about some different things that I think will be beneficial for you to know before showing up. First, the people in Sapa are incredible. They're fun, happy, and they're really welcoming. Second, let's talk about cost. The cost of this experience is about 45 USD per day, and that includes your guide, all of your meals, the homestay, and your taxi back to Sapa town. When to come to Sapa? One thing to note is that when you're planning your trip here, the timing will make a difference. And while you can get away with hiking here any time of the year, it's recommended to come to Sapa between March and May if you want to see the wildflowers in bloom. You can also come when we did in the winter, so you'll have a pleasant hiking experience versus the summer when it's just way too hot. Note that the Hmong Village people will not be wearing their thick, beautiful clothing in the summer. But like I said, you can enjoy this mountain paradise any time of the year. What you need to pack. Ideally, you're gonna wanna bring hiking boots for the most enjoyable thing for your feet. Well, we forgot our hiking boots and we were able to hike it just fine with our running sneakers because it's about 2 days. So it's absolutely doable. It really just comes down to your personal preference. Second tip, pack light. You're only gonna be gone for 1 night, so leave the bulk of your stuff at your hotel in Sapa. And just bring the necessary toiletries and PJs that you're gonna need for 1 night. Your guide will have plenty of food and water for you, and you'll have the opportunity to take a shower. Anything beyond that is just preference. We brought our drone to take captivating shots of the rice terraces and camera gear to document this experience. If you're coming in the winter, I suggest bringing layers as it can really be colder in the morning and hotter in the evening. Oh, and last tip, bring sunscreen. I didn't think we'd need it, and our local guide noticed we were actually getting burnt in the mountains and let us borrow some, so thank goodness she was so prepared.
God.
I know, but you know, it is what it is, so. Was it worth it to get a guide, or can you do this hike on your own? So after doing this trek, I would 100% recommend doing this hike with a local guide and not doing it on your own. For safety reasons, knowing where to go, and of course the fact that our guide made this really an enjoyable, incredible experience. Get a guide, don't question it. So, the moment of truth. Do I recommend going to Sapa on your Vietnam itinerary? And the answer is yes. It was truly the highlight of our 3-month trip through Vietnam. It's a destination where you can see this out of this world views of the mountains, the valley, the rice terraces, and some of the most friendly local tribes. I really couldn't imagine coming to Vietnam and not making this trip to Sapa. If you're wondering what else to do in Vietnam, make sure to check out my Vietnam series to plan your perfect trip to Vietnam. Also, if you're new here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on our weekly videos documenting incredible experiences throughout the world. And with that, I will see you in the next one.